the system will actually pass your connection automatically from one device to another, which means you don't experience any dropouts. And some people out there might have used wireless repeater systems or wireless extenders in the past. The problem with those devices is that they don't provide that meshing functionality. I'm Mark Riddell from M3 Networks. We are an IT support and cybersecurity specialist because we know that running a business is hard enough as it is, right, without IT causing more headaches and frustration, which is why we aim to make IT an enjoyable experience for our customers. If you'd like to find out more about what we do, check us out at m3networks.co.uk. Welcome to today's episode of Techcess. I'm Mark Riddell, and I want to talk to you about Wi-Fi. Now, yes, it's pretty boring, it's pretty dry, but the thing with Wi-Fi is it's great when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's a total pain. It's really frustrating when you have poor Wi-Fi. And a lot of the times people say to me, well, yeah, it's great, I get a Wi-Fi signal throughout my house, but there's a big difference between having a Wi-Fi signal and actually having a signal that's strong enough to actually get any work done. So just because you're connected to your Wi-Fi doesn't mean it's actually suitable to do the tasks that you're trying to do online, especially when it comes to things like video calls on Teams or Zoom or whatever. So today I'm going to tell you about how you can get 100% perfect Wi-Fi coverage throughout your house for less than £150. Now, of course, there has to be a little bit of a caveat to this because this is not going to work in everyone's house. But I think for 95% of people who have a modest 3 or 4 bedroom house, especially if it's a more modern construction, then this is going to solve your Wi-Fi problems. If you have a massive country estate mansion that's made of brick with really thick walls, then of course, you're probably going to need to have a better Wi-Fi system and probably get a company in to flood your house with Wi-Fi and maybe run some cables and things. But this advice today is for the masses. This is for the majority of people out there, like I say, who live in a modest, modern 3 to 4 bedroom family home. Most of you out there are probably getting your Wi-Fi provided from the router that was provided to you by your internet service provider, your ISP. So you probably have a BT Home Hub or a Virgin Super Hub, or if you're with Sky, you'll have their router. But these things don't provide great Wi-Fi because, of course, they're designed to look like something that you'd want to have in your home. So there's no antennas and things sticking out of it, okay? It can sit next to your TV or behind your TV or in the hallway somewhere, and it doesn't really offend anyone. It doesn't kind of stand out. But of course, what is designed to look nice doesn't always function the best. And what you really need in your home is what we call a mesh Wi-Fi system, which is basically a number of different wireless access points that all talk to each other that allow you to get, better Wi-Fi coverage across your house. And I'm going to talk to you about the system that I actually have in my own house, and I've actually put this in for other people. I've actually recommended it to other people. And the beauty of this system is that you don't need to be an IT professional to get it up and running. It's designed so that the average kind of fairly IT or technology literate person can actually get this up and running. In fact, they made it so easy to set up that it's actually all done via an app on your phone. Now, the specific model that I have is by a company called TP-Link. It's TP-Link, and it is the Deco P9. So it's Deco, D-E-C-O P9 system. Now, they do lots of variations of the Deco devices. The P9 is the one I use. I'll tell you why for a specific reason just in a minute. You can purchase these as a single unit, but they actually sell these as a pack of 3. And right now on Amazon, you can get the pack of 3 for less than £150. I think I paid exactly £150 probably about a year and a half ago in my own home. But yeah, they've come down in price a little bit, so you can actually pick these up a little bit cheaper. Of course, we will post a link to the product on Amazon in the show notes. So if you just want to click the link that you see down below somewhere, you'll be able to go straight to Amazon and order these for yourself. So we're going to talk a little bit about the technology and about how this works. So this is a mesh Wi-Fi system. And as I said earlier, this works by having multiple access points. And this particular system with the 3 access points can cover up to 6,000 square feet, which is going to cover the majority of houses out there. And the key to this system, and the reason why it works so well, is because these devices actually communicate with each other via the power line system. Now, this is technology that's been around for, now probably almost nearly 20 years, I would imagine. Certainly systems I've been installing around 2005, 2006. And it basically uses the power line in your house to transmit the network signal so that these devices can communicate. So think of it as a wired backbone without having to actually install any cables. Traditionally, in a Wi-Fi mesh system, all the wireless access points have to be able to see each other on the wireless technology. But with this particular system, because they can communicate through the power lines, they don't actually have to be able to talk to each other wirelessly, which is actually ideal if you do have a house with, thicker walls, or you want to put one of these devices, say, in a room above your garage or in an external building, as long as the power system in your property is one system, so basically one consumer unit. If you have multiple power feeds in your property and you have different power meters on the electricity, then these aren't going to work because they won't be able to communicate like that. But in majority of houses, we've got one electricity supplier and these will work perfectly. Now, to talk a little bit about the setup for these devices, it's fairly simple. As I said earlier, it's all done with an app. So you download the TP-Link app, you create an account, and it actually talks you through step by step what to do, when to plug things in, how to set it up, etc., as well as give your Wi-Fi a name, so the SSID, which is the name of your Wi-Fi, you can name it whatever you want, as well as set the security password for people to connect to Wi-Fi. If you have a lot of people that come to your house to visit and they use your Wi-Fi, you can enable the guest wireless feature so that then your guests can use that rather than connecting into your own connection. It gives you a little bit more security, especially if you're working from home. So you've heard me say that this is a mesh wireless system a few times. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, basically what it means is that if you've got your laptop and you're connected to the Wi-Fi in the kitchen and you pick up your laptop or your phone or your tablet or whatever device you're using and you walk through your house to a different area of the house, maybe through to a study or to your bedroom or wherever else it might be, that the wireless connection actually seamlessly passes. So the wireless mesh devices actually pass the connection between themselves. So the minute you go out of the range of one of the devices and you move into the range of another one where the signal from the next access point is stronger, the system will actually pass your connection automatically from one device to another, which means you don't experience any dropouts. And some people out there might have used wireless repeater systems or wireless extenders in the past. The problem with those devices is that they don't provide that meshing functionality. So, you go out of range of one of them, your wireless will drop off and you've got to wait for it to reconnect to the wireless extender in another part of the house. And you get this kind of lag dropout, or what appears to you is that, my Wi-Fi has gone down, it comes back up again. Quite often, what I've heard over the years is people say, yeah, my Wi-Fi kind of seems to just keep cutting in and out. And it's not cutting in and out. The Wi-Fi is always there. It's just that your devices are dropping out and having to reconnect again. And that takes time for your devices to realize that they're no longer in range of one of the access points and then wait until it reconnects to the next one. But with a mesh system, you have this seamless, network around your house where, it's like it just never drops. It's just there all the time, everywhere you go. And this is a technology that has been around in businesses for a long time. Of course, years ago, this was a technology that was quite expensive, but of course, over time, the costs for things filtered down to the consumer level where we can now buy these kind of systems and have them in our house. And for what is not really a lot of money, to be honest, we're talking about less than £50 per access point, right? And there's another thing I wanted to tell you about for anyone with parents out there. If you don't have any parental controls yet on your kids' devices, which I highly recommend, by the way, I personally actually use Google Family Link for this, where all my kids' devices are connected and I can set things like safe search, being able to disable certain features, as well as have time control. So if you want your kids' devices to not have internet access or to lock at, say, 10 o'clock at night because it's bedtime, you don't want them up till like 2 in the morning on YouTube, then you have that facility to do that, and it's totally free through Google Family Link. However, these TP-Link devices I'm telling you about actually have parental control feature within it. Now, I personally have never used this, so I can't really give my opinion or any advice on how well it works, but it basically works by creating profiles for each family member Now, I just want to interrupt this episode just for a few seconds, and I'm going to throw a shameless plug at you. Now, I've noticed quite recently that our YouTube channel has been getting a larger number of subscriptions. Now, it's not thousands, but certainly we're into, I think we're approaching almost 200 subscribers on YouTube now. And I think this is because we've been posting our tech update videos every single week. So we're starting to see a lot of people starting to engage on YouTube. So if you've not already checked out our YouTube channel, just go into YouTube and search for M3 Networks Limited, or just M3 Network, and you'll see the green circle with the M3 logo in it, and you'll be able to go and subscribe and see all of our tech update videos right there. Now let's get back to this week's episode. And you can set things like filtering out things like pornography, adult content, that kind of stuff, as well as time limits on how much time they can spend online, and setting things like bedtime and all that kind of stuff. And you can also see how much time they're spending on each particular app and website and things. If you just want to suspend their internet access or block it, maybe because they've been misbehaving, then you have the ability to do all of this via the TP-Link app. And the final thing that I want to tell you about this system is that each of the access points actually have 2 network ports in the back, so 2 Ethernet ports. Now, these are gigabit ports, so they're fast, and these can be used to connect to other devices. So if you have a desktop computer at home, if you're working from home with a desktop instead of a laptop, you can actually plug a network cable right into the device, into your PC. You can also use these for things like your Sky TV boxes or anything else that has a network connection. You can wire this straight in, and you're going to get a wired connection rather than Wi-Fi. Because, as good as Wi-Fi is, and as good as the Wi-Fi from these devices is, having a wired connection is always the best option in my opinion. So there you go. Get amazing Wi-Fi throughout your house for under £150, and you can set it up yourself without needing an IT professional. So if you're working from home permanently or just working from home on a hybrid basis, make sure that you never have a problem working from home on video calls or whatever else it is you're doing. You can ensure that you've got high-speed Wi-Fi all the time, and you're just not going to have any more wireless dropouts and wireless problems. So if this is helpful, please let me know. If this is something that you go out there and you buy and you set up in your house, let me know how it works for you. I've only heard good things about this. Like I say, I've had this particular system in my home for well over a year, and I've never had to touch it. I've never had to restart any of the access points. The only issues we've had is like what everyone has, which is the odd internet connection dropout, but that's nothing to do with the system here. That's to do obviously just with your router and your connection to your ISP, and you always get the odd dropout now and again over a course of a year. However, this system has been absolutely flawless, I have to say. I'm really impressed with it, and it's something that is accessible to everyone because it's not that much money. So I highly recommend that you go and check it out. So that's all I have for you today. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Techcess is an M3 Networks podcast. Find out more at m3networks.co.uk.